everybody. Welcome to this week's What Women Binge. Woo! Today, we have one of my bestest friends in the house. This is Brooke Menoni.
Hi, happy to be here.
Which is so fun to say.
Brooke Menoni.
Oh, it is?
It is.
It is a really fun name to say.
Thanks.
She is a mom of many. She has a ton of stories. But I want to start with your days at Condé Nast.
Ooh.
You have a fun background and you too. These are like my color queens, like you guys and your splashes of like bright colors, accessorizing.
I will take
like
color queen.
Oh my gosh, you
like
guys,
that.
yeah, that's like what you guys are like.
But
Every
it's
time
odd
I
because
think
I'm wearing black and white today. And
I know.
But you're not. Look at your wrist.
you've got-
It makes it pop.
This is, yeah.
Look
brace,
at
your necklace is
And your
rainbow
cool
and like
rings.
she's the kind that like Mark will show me something or he'll be like, who would wear that? I'm like, Brooke would wear that and she'd make it fabulous. She'd add some necklace or big earrings or fabulous shoes and a purse.
Accessorize.
Yeah. So whenever I try to, I'm not good at accessorizing. I always like put too much on and then I take it all off. But I did wear an
I
extra
feel like
necklace
you
today for you.
actually layered perfectly.
I know, I
today.
think
This
so,
is
too.
all coming
I
together.
love that piece,
Very nice.
too.
I've been cold because it's so freaking sticky and humid outside. So I wanted long sleeves. So I went
Indoor
with one.
winter is upon us.
Yeah.
Yeah, indoor winter. That's a southern thing, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, so I packed my denim jacket and my husband was teasing me. He's like, I don't think you're going to need that down there.
Not
She worked
outside.
at the gym today because she was so cold inside. Only
I was
inside.
freezing the air, right?
She
It was
did
so
BFT
cold.
today.
AC.
Nice.
Yeah.
You feel
Fit
buff?
training.
I feel totally buff.
Are you sore already?
I am, yeah, in my legs. Yep.
It's setting in.
Well, the thing was too, you do these stations, and the station I was assigned to first was actually the last station, which it should have been because it was horrendous. It was like running up a really steep hill.
It's a tread. What's that thing called? The tread where the treadmill it doesn't work. You have to push it.
Yeah.
Me and that thing are not friends.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm the girl who looks like she's barely moving, but I'm exerting all of my energy.
I felt like this was
No,
a combination of a burpee and running at the same time.
It kind of is because you're down low and holding up
Yeah.
low.
It was hard.
What?
Yeah, it was tough.
Down low? No.
Yeah.
No, that's a no for me.
But it's, I mean, we were only on it for 3 minutes, but 3 minutes is a long time.
That adds up
when
real
you're on that
fast.
thing, yeah. But Brooke is from Atlanta originally, right?
I am. Yeah.
Right, born and raised.
Southern.
I'm Southern. Yes, I am.
So she's so excited to be in Nashville. She's been eating all that. We did like
I
Le
have.
Peep today.
So
she
my
wanted
mom,
gooey buns.
yeah, that she mentioned that, and it brought back like great memories for me because my mom, we used to go there together. That was like our place to go, and I haven't thought about it in years.
So it's like a little restaurant here that I thought was just like
It's a
mom and
chain.
pop, but it's a chain.
Yeah,
There's like
it
one in
is,
Texas,
yeah.
Atlanta.
There
Apparently,
used to be a ton, and now there's only like a few
Right.
sprinkled
Oh,
about.
really?
yeah, but the gooey buns.
She was all about the gooey buns. I was
Yeah.
not loving them, but
Well, this is why she wanted to eat her meal first and have it for dessert, and I said, no, you
Savory and
have
You
to
start
eat
with
it
the gooey bun.
because they're warm and it's
And they're
the
gooey.
base is an English muffin. And if
Oh,
you eat it
that's
later, yeah, so
why.
you know,
It's
English muffins
soggy.
gets hard actually,
But
like the crisp
was
on the edge.
expecting-
Oh, because all the sugar
Yeah.
underneath.
I was expecting it to be more like a cinnamon bun. So I was expecting like a
No, but they
fluffy...
do have that. They have the cinnamon gooey buns.
Okay, so
yeah.
maybe I should have had the
I should have
cinnamon
warned
Did you have the
gooey bun.
pecans on the gooey bun?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I
right?
didn't like that.
I think it's
No,
just
think
like
they were almond
cinnamon
slices.
sugar and almond slices.
Almond
yes,
slices.
yes.
And I was like not loving all the different textures
I
and
love
flavors.
it. And then the honey butter. There's
But we
something.
did Cracker Barrel yesterday.
Heart.
We did Cracker Barrel. We did Hattie B's.
Yes.
We've hit all that. We even did
You
Bobby's
needed to
Dairy
take
Dip.
her to the Belle Meade Meat and 3.
I thought about that, and
That's
we
a really
just
good
haven't
one,
had
too.
time. Maybe we can hit that.
I mean, it has been amazing. Yesterday I started with cheesecake pancakes,
Yes, she did at Cracker Barrel.
eggs, bacon, sweet tea,
Yeah.
Hash brown
Hattie
casserole.
B's.
Yeah.
I didn't have hash brown casserole.
Oh, man.
And,
That's something I
we
feel
did,
like I
we
could
did
eat.
Bobby's
You
Dairy Dip
think?
though. We did the soft
Yes,
serve ice cream from
yes.
Bobby's. Like we did
That's
kind of.
delicious.
I did
we've
banana
been hitting
pudding.
yeah, you did the banana pudding. Yeah, she's been
fried
hitting
chicken.
all the high points.
And now you know.
And now you know.
Yeah.
Like when you come here, and I mean, we still have to hit. We're gonna go to Assembly Food Hall tonight just so we can have
Fun.
all the things, Prince's, like all the standard Nashville eateries, like the necessary
pharmacy
places.
burger.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
can have
pharmacy. Yeah, pharmacy's a burger. But
The Steam
I don't know
Boys
it.
grilled bao. You want the one that's been pressed.
oh, I need
Okay.
that.
So good.
I think I
Okay.
might have that tonight. I usually get the there's a poke bowl place there. I do like my poke.
And then there's, oh gosh.
Oh, there's cookie dough.
There is
like,
the cookie
There's
dough
a cookie
place.
dough bar where you can get your flavor.
No
of cookie
way.
dough. There's a cotton candy bar where you can get your cotton candy
I love
flavor.
cotton candy.
Yeah. So you can just like, we let the kids talk about free range parenting, which we'll talk about in a minute. Brooke's obsessed with free
Yeah.
range parenting. But Assembly Food Hall is a place you can really do some free range parenting.
And some damage.
Yeah, you give them a credit card and you let them each go to their own counter.
I'm afraid of that.
About $150 later, you're like, you had what? A burger and some cookie dough? Awesome.
Cool.
It's sort of
Could've
why I
done that at
don't give
home
the
for
card to
$5.
my oldest. I give it to my number 2 because the
first of all, she's a
oldest
girl.
will spend it like extravagantly on things, I feel like.
So tell us, let's talk, you want to talk kids?
Yes. Do you want to go back to Condé Nast or just move on to
Condé Nast.
kids?
Yes, thank you for bringing me back around.
So I worked at Condé Nast for years, about 15 years. But it was both awesome and terrible at the same time.
Was it like Devil Wears Prada?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. But it was a lot of fun. Like my kids, that's the one thing that now that I have teenagers and one tween, if I mention something about working, they're like, "Oh my gosh, Mom, you had such a cool life. Like, why didn't you ever talk about it?" And I'm like, "Well, because no one listens. Like, does anybody want to hear about it?"
We're listening,
But
Brooke.
yes,
We're
thank you.
listening right now.
Tell us everything.
So I was a beauty director for years, then a fashion director in the advertising sales side. And so I got to go to Fashion Week for many years and sit by a lot of celebrities. And Melissa will tell you, I am obsessed with fashion. That's my
and interior design.
Yes,
It's like these are two things that you do very well, and lots of color.
Yes.
But wait, so hold on. I didn't really know this. I love interviewing friends of mine because then I learn more. So wait, so you worked for the whole like umbrella of Condé Nast.
So I started out, I worked at a magazine named Mademoiselle.
Oh,
which,
of course. Is that still around?
No. And actually they'd moved me from Atlanta to New York City just before 9/11. So we were there during 9/11.
Oh.
And yeah, I could spend a whole episode. That was anyway, so there for 9/11 and then it closed soon after. And then we were like all out of a job. And so interviewed around and had some offers and ended up going to Teen magazine, and then Teen closed soon after. But before they closed, my boss called me into her office and said she was going to bring one salesperson with her, and she selected me. So I still had a job, but I had to walk around for a few hours and act like everything was fine, when my friends were going to be losing their jobs. So it was really hard. Oh, no. And then we went to 17, which was like a dream come true for me because I don't know if you guys remember, but I remember the back to
17
school
magazine.
issue.
Oh, yeah.
I would be running to the mailbox every day, hoping it would come, and then would dog ear everything I loved and try to figure out a way to create those outfits for back to school. I loved it. So I loved working there.
But under the umbrella of Condé Nast is like Vanity Fair.
Yeah. So then from there went back to Condé Nast. I worked at Cargo. I worked at for corporate sales, which oversaw everything. So Vogue, Teen Vogue, GQ, Self, Glamour.
So you're selling
ad space.
So you're trying to get like, let's say Maybelline to come in and buy a page
Right. So like I worked at Gourmet magazine, for instance, and handled fashion. Oh. So, would try to get Coach to advertise Ralph Lauren or, those.
Stuff?
Yes, lots of free stuff. It was really nice.
Is that why your kids think is
nice.
it Emerson? Is
no,
it your daughter?
You know what
that
they are
so
most
cool?
impressed by? The fact that I had drivers everywhere. So I had someone that would, when I worked late, they'd pick me up, drive me home.
That is so funny because that is a sign for kids of when I was young and I was doing commercials on TV, everyone was like, their number one question was, do you drive around in a limo? Like something about kids like having a driver or a limo back then, because now of course it's like town cars, but like a stretch limo was like a sign of like, you're a celebrity.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, where's your limo?
Sedan. Yeah.
Oh,
that's what they're most impressed by. And I thought for years I was going to write a book because I lived in the city for years, but then when we moved out to Westport, it was a longer commute. And then if you were in traffic, I would talk to the drivers because I didn't want to fall asleep. Because if I fell asleep in the car, I couldn't go back to sleep once I got home. Uh-oh. And then my husband and I would take a 4:40 a.m. train the next morning. So I didn't want to sleep. So I would talk to the drivers, and they all drove for Condé Nast. So the stories they would tell were unbelievable. So I used to like write all this stuff down. I was always like, I'm going to write a book one day.
Write a book. What would you call it? What would you call the book? Like things my driver said.
Would be. Yeah. Things my driver said.
Stories from my.
I would definitely get in touch with you before I picked the title because I would know you would be the one.
I'll do a workshop on it.
You could. You do great at that. Coming up with catchy phrases or titles.
So this is all before you had kids.
Yes, and then I did get.
So you marry Iron Man.
I married.
I'm sorry, what?
Iron
Dave
Man.
is like an Iron Man.
He
like
is,
he's like,
yes.
Actually, He loves Jesse Eitzler, Sarah Blakely from Spanx. Her husband Jesse is the one who wrote the book. Like he tried to get Mark. Mark and I both tried.
Yeah.
Dave and I both tried to get Mark to read my year as a Marine. Is that what it is?
I remember the name of it.
30 Days as a Marine.
Dave would be so upset with me for not remembering
30
the
days
name.
30 days as a SEAL, 30 days as a monk, I think. So he lived like certain amounts of time with people to try to see what it was like to be these people. But Jesse is like one of these guys who runs ultra marathons or like puts together these hikes with his friends, like these crazy like competitive. He kind of builds his own competitive things. I think even like Easter Sunday they do like family races down a hill or something. Like people are vomiting like on their lawn at Easter or something because he's doing crazy. But Dave's like that. Dave is like if you took like Chuck E. Cheese and like He-Man and I don't know like he's like. When I bring Tucker up there, he's like, I got Tucker. And like for like a weekend, I won't see him. And he's just in Camp Dave. And Dave is like, today we're going to go climb this thing and rappel from the rafters. And then we're going to go over here and swing and row. And then you're going to learn how to chop wood or like.
Yeah. Because I just dropped the kids at Sky Zone, which they love. And as we're standing in line, my youngest Decker, he said, Mom, it's really fun with you. If Dad was here, he'd say, you have to run 2 miles, then we're going to do this, and then you can get Dippin' Dots. Meanwhile, I was like, here's the card. You can get Dippin' Dots, but only one each. And he's like, it's just easy. You just go to Sky Zone and get the Dippin' Dots. With Dad, he
makes you earn it.
Yeah, but he is like, sometimes I'll get comfortable and just want to sit back and read a book, and he's the one that like gets us up and out. And there are many times, like actually for New Year's this year, with 3 hours notice, he's like, I want to, we had been going to this family camp where you literally camp for the weekend of New Year's. And we did it with another family and they weren't able to go this year. And 3 hours before, he's like, I think we should do it. And I'm like, oh, because we're all
like,
relaxed.
I was just about to take a nap.
But you know what? I knew, and the kids were like, because I told them later that I didn't want to go. They're like, then why'd you do it? And I'm like, because I know that Dad, this is something he's good at. I know in the end, I'll be so glad I did it.
Yeah.
It's just getting me. So I said, guys, we're going in 3 hours. I'm so
Melissa's
excited.
That person
She
for
is.
a lot of us.
She is.
And,
she is.
if I get my heart set on something, even if I don't want to do it, I still feel like I have to do it. Like I feel like responsible for this thing that I've created that I need to do.
She's incubated an idea. Now she must have
I have to do it or I'll regret it. Like
Yeah.
I always say the things you regret are the things you don't do more than the things you do.
That's true.
You know,
That's
you
very
kind of
true.
always regret the things you don't do.
But you are good about that. Getting the gathering of
I'm
the
losing my
people
energy a little
and-
bit in my late 40s.
No.
I'm now like, yeah, we can. What did we Sunday night? We had all these plans, and we're like, just sit on the couch and order pizza. And then
a
like,
nap. We did
you
take a
wanted to
nap.
go buy candles. You and Mark they dragged me out to go buy candles, and I was like, I don't want to buy candles. I want to sit on the couch and eat pizza.
Yeah.
And like, let's go buy candles. I'm like, fine.
That was Dave. I was like channeling Dave because I'm like, no, we've been here. It's been raining. It's been storming. I want to get up and do something.
Yeah.
And so,
But I was like, it's 7 o'clock. Like
So
we've been sitting
candles.
here for 4 hours. Yeah, we got
Yes.
candles. Ranger
Ranger.
Station, right?
Yeah, they smell delicious.
Yeah.
heard
There's
of
a store here on 12 South, and she knew. You and Mark's obsessed. My husband is a candle whore.
He loves all the smells.
He does. It's weird. So he wanted to take us candle shopping yesterday.
But I'm obsessed with candles too. Like I have a whole cabinet full of candles and I get so irritated because I light them in the house and I go by, I'm like, who blew out my candle?
Oh, and I'm always blowing them out. So I'm like, someone's going to forget.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the person that's like, you're going to forget, and I'm just going to blow them out
Yeah.
now while I'm remembering that they're here.
Yeah.
So then you guys got happily married. How long ago? 20.
We're coming up on 20 years.
Oh,
Yeah,
fun.
August 31st. So I'm like
really close.
very
Yeah.
close. I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to plan something different.
I know it's hard. Like I always thought 20th would be like big celebration.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, we got a hotel room downtown. I mean, we
Yeah.
did go to Africa, so that was our gift to each other. But
It's so nice. Well, so and we've been on a lot of vacations this summer, and so I'm not wanting to spend a lot, but like my daughter Emerson, so it's Emerald is for 20 years, she said. So she's keeping me up on that. So she found these great, he loves Brooks and Sauconys. And so she picked out some emerald green from each of them. So I might do that.
Cute.
Yeah, because he loves to run. So
it must be nice having
yeah.
a girl to pick out gifts and stuff.
It
My boys are like,
is.
I'm always like,
I like having a
we were in a store yesterday and I was like, Brady, remember this store for mommy or Chris? Oh, it was Cracker Barrel. I was like, you can always come here and get me, Daddy. You can get a candle for Daddy. You can get some cute Christmas sign for me, and you can get something for Tucker. I don't know about Mason, but the rest of it, you know. there's-
Cracker Barrel is the best.
Yeah.
And they sell Circus peanuts. Ding, 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 ding.
Circus
So
She's
my
obsessed.
sister introduced my nieces to Circus peanuts because I guess it's a Southern thing.
Oh, no.
I don't
No?
know.
I don't think so.
My grandmother loved Circus peanuts. That's the only reason I know that they exist. And she used to eat them. She would get the giant bag. I guess it was Brock's or whatever
Yes.
company made
Oh,
it.
Spangler.
Oh, okay,
those are
yeah.
my favorite. Yeah.
So
You're the expert.
I am. And I do the mush test. I
They
give them a
have to
little
be-
pinch. I like them to be
Outside the
soft.
bag?
oh, you
outside
want
the bag
soft
to make
ones.
sure.
So I go through and if they're too hard, I don't get them.
See, the opposite would be true for me. Is I would need them to be a little bit harder because that texture for me, it's kind of marshmallow.
Marshmallowy, right?
If marshmallow and chalk had a baby.
She made me smell them yesterday. I
Yeah.
wouldn't eat it, but I smelled it. But I didn't really want it.
you. So that's what I feel like so many people say is the texture.
It is a
bothers
texture
them.
thing because they're like creamsicle flavored. It's not like a big deal.
I feel like it's a mix between creamsicle and maybe cotton candy and marshmallow. Like
Yeah.
Is there only one flavor?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually for, I think it's Easter, I feel like they have come out with some that are like the pastel colors, sort of like the bunnies you can get.
Yeah.
Like I think
now you
it's
can get
the
all
same
the
thing.
Now you
Yeah.
can get the Peeps bunnies. Is that what you mean?
No, but it's imagine the circus peanut were in the shape of, a
bunny.
rabbit
Oh,
or a
gotcha,
bunny,
gotcha.
and it's like the ears
'cause
are long and straight.
This year I noticed Peeps did like Jolly Rancher flavor and like all these different. They had like all these
Peeps
different
are
flavors.
I love Peeps.
I love
too.
Peeps. I love Peeps.
Do you know
I
they did this
Maybe I would like
test
these
where
peanuts.
my parents are always sending me if there's like an article about Peeps or something, and they are always sending me Peeps as well for Easter. I always
really?
have to have some Peeps.
I love it. It's like classic.
But they did. There was some science experiment or something where they actually ran over a peep
And
with
it
like a
popped right
truck
back
and
up?
it popped right back up. Isn't that amazing?
That's
You know,
actually, that
they
makes
talk
sense.
about like Subway rolls being made with the yoga mat material. I'm pretty sure whatever's in the Peeps.
It's made out of yoga mat, that memory foam. They're memory foam.
Have you ever blown one up in the microwave?
No.
That's the only reason I buy Peeps.
Why would you do that?
Because it is hilarious.
But
So,
is it so hard to clean out of your microwave?
no. They don't actually explode, but they will get to be this big.
No way.
No.
Oh, they're huge.
I have a bunch at home still because I literally bought my boys
And as
every
soon as
flavor
you
I
take
could
them
find.
back
Yeah.
out, they just go. Pew.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so gonna do that tonight. I have so many. I can't even tell every kind of color. We'll feed them
They
to
have,
your
like-
kids while you're
yeah.
here so that you can get rid of them.
They do make you sick if you eat too many, though.
yeah.
A little.
Oh yeah. No, I can only eat like
They're
half
not
at a
a
time.
I don't know what it is about them. Maybe it's the texture.
I think it's the texture again.
But it's not like a true marshmallow texture.
But do you like the chewy? Do you like the sugar on the outside, the crunch that gets to the? No, see,
You like something that's a little harder, I think, because
Yes.
you like even that
I would
candy, the twin
prefer
snakes.
the gummies.
They're gummies,
to
but
be
they're
harder.
Yeah.
Like, although I do like those berry clouds,
That's so
and they
funny.
have kind of a
yeah, they have a marshmallowy feel
smushier-
in them.
Yeah,
I just finished them with
but it's married to the actual gummy. So I
Yeah.
think the combination of the two I could handle. If it was just that fluffiness,
Yeah.
probably not.
Interesting, because you have a problem with the sausage that I like because of the snapping.
No,
The snapping, it's the
Can't
texture.
handle it.
Yeah, she's a weird texture girl.
I did hear that on the Sausage King.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, she was listening to the episode. She told Mark, she's like, "You're really good when you speak. You should do something."
He has a great voice, and actually, I was telling them that I played some of it in the car for the kids when I was done, and I said, "Whose voice is this?" And he has a very distinct
knew.
voice, and they knew, yeah.
Well, yeah, for those of you at home that don't know what we're talking about, go back 2 or 3 weeks and you'll hear the episode with my husband, Mark.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, the Sausage King. Amanda, did you know that 80% of your immune system is located in your gut and digestive tract?
I only know that now because our new sponsor, First Form, makes such a big deal about that with their product, OptiGreens 50.
Yeah, OptiGreens 50 is a precisely formulated green superfood powder. And it's great for your healthy digestion, which is so important for overall health and wellness.
Literally everything in your body. And
Yeah.
this product is not only really effective, but it tastes so good. Can
Yeah.
we talk about that wild berry flavor? I am here for it.
It's not gritty, and it's from natural flavors.
Yeah,
and they're
there's-
so confident in the flavor that if you don't like it, they'll offer 110%
It's
money back
crazy.
guarantee.
Yeah, all you got to do is tell them it's not for me and send it back. No problems there. But y'all, you're not going to want to send it back. It's
No,
delicious.
It's delicious. OptiGreens 50 has 50 hand-chosen ingredients, and it's effectively dosed. It's not necessarily how many ingredients. The more important point is that they're the right amount of each ingredient. And 100% of the greens ingredients are all grown and manufactured here in the USA.
which we love.
We love that. They also have protein meat sticks. I took some of this with me to Africa on my trip.
It's amazing
And
for
it was
that.
great just to have those meat sticks are super awesome protein. They keep you full. They're delicious. They were just great to have for me and the boys.
And the protein bars are equally as delicious. My kids even love them.
Protein bars are delish. Great flavors, amazing, yummy. Loved it. So all you have to do is go to firstform.com/MJH. It's 1stphorm.com/MJH.
And if you order now, you get free shipping through this link on any orders over $75.
Yeah, so check it out. And thanks, First Forum, for sponsoring What Women Binge. I want to talk about your kids, though, and I want to talk about your faith journey and stuff, because you have such a strong faith, and you have been a prayer warrior in my life. And I know that in your life, you've needed a lot of prayers, and that you've been through some really hard times recently in the past.
Yeah.
And I want to kind of talk about that a little bit. Like, where does your faith come from? Like, from your childhood?
It does, but I feel myself getting emotional as you're saying. It does. I actually grew up going to a Christian school for 12 years, going to church, and I thought I had a really strong faith. And it's not that I didn't. I did, I guess. But I think it's so important. And what I've been through has helped me realize that everyone needs to discover their own faith. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not, I don't know that it's a great idea to push your faith on your kids. I'm not saying not to introduce them to it or take them to church, but they have to figure it out on their own, because I thought I had a strong faith, but I think it was more emotionally based. So when things were good, God's good. When things are bad, maybe I've been bad or I'm deserving of something, and it's not that way. And I remember, so I have a 14-year-old son, Hunter, and so that was my maiden name, Brooke Hunter.
Oh,
so that was,
okay.
Yeah. And then 13-year-old daughter, Emerson. I have an 11-year-old son, Cash. Then we have a daughter, Everly, that's in heaven, and a 7-year-old son, Decker. But when we became pregnant with Everly, she was diagnosed with a terminal illness called trisomy 18, and it was pretty traumatic, because the other 3 kids, it was like, oh, let's get pregnant, and we got pregnant, and it was easy, and that was that. And it made me realize that, I mean, every baby is a miracle, and people have problems getting pregnant. I was so much more aware of what other women had been through.
Right.
But
you never had a miscarriage or anything?
Never, no. I mean, and literally every time we're like, yeah, let's try to get pregnant, we got pregnant right away. And I'm ashamed to say so, I thought I had this talent to get pregnant. So when people say they couldn't get pregnant, I remember thinking like, oh, they must not be, not in a mean way, just they must be doing it wrong, or,
You took a lot of pride in that.
Yeah, I guess. Like, I just thought it was I guess, more, not that I took pride, maybe more, I thought it was just something I was blessed to be able to do. Like, this is easy for me, you know?
Well, and when I met you, you were pregnant with Everly, and we were putting, Hunter and Brady are the same age. Yeah. So my Brady, my middle one. We were putting them, it wasn't kindergarten. Was it 3s?
No, it
wasn't
kindergarten.
It was kindergarten?
It was kindergarten, but Hunter was young. He was young. He was 4.
Okay. And Cash and Tucker were born. Yeah, we had Cash and Tucker.
Yes.
So we had all these kids in common. But she walks in with 3 kids, and she's pregnant, and I realized she's got like 5 and under. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're going to have 4 kids under 5 years old. I was just like blown away by it.
So 4.5.
But the first thing you said was, oh no, this one's not going to survive.
Yeah, I think because we were talking, and it just was easier for me to, and this is the way I am. I try to be very authentic, and I just like to have everything out on the table. Mm-hmm. And so we've been talking, and I just met you, and we were talking with Marlo too. And you guys were asking me questions. And so before I left, you had mentioned that you went to the Bible study, and you're the one that told me about it. You're one of the people that told me about it. I just heard about it, I think like 2 days before, and then you mentioned it. Okay. That's something you're really good at.
Oh, thanks. But we were talking a lot about like if you bring people to church and stuff.
Yeah, and that's something she's good at. But we'd been talking about it, and so I just wanted to let you both know, so you didn't hear. I wanted to be able to be the one to tell it too. And I said, I just want you to know that this, child, they may or may not live.
Yeah.
It was just a real precarious position to be.
And it was interesting. Like, I remember saying, like, asking, like, just saying that, and then you said something about, this one may not survive or something like that. However you said it, and but it was so, you said it in such a calm, peaceful manner, and I think then you said, she has trisomy 18, and Marlo just hit the floor. But later on, Marlo said, I'm really glad that you turned that around. Like, she gave me a compliment for turning it around, because you said, I don't want to talk about it. And I was like, oh, okay. So tell me about Hunter, and then you have Kat, and we start talking about the kids or something. And I just remember that moment of I try not to like pry and people like if there's something you don't want to talk about, I'm all about like let's switch gears. But I just remember like that was a tough one because like you seem to be open to talking about it.
And I think it was probably more that I didn't want to make you both uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If you didn't know what to say, because that happens like when you're going through something like that. There are people that just they don't know what to say, and they become so even today. Like when people say how many kids do you have, I say 5, and I try to like gloss over. We have a daughter Everly that's in heaven because I don't, but I still acknowledge her because she was my daughter and I still care about her and love her. And my kids, if I don't say it, they will say, Mom, we have one more. It's unusual that they wouldn't, don't say something about that. But yeah, so she...
And the whole family getting through that.
Yeah, it was tough. And so I relied heavily on my faith. And there are definitely things that happened throughout that journey that in my mind could have only have been God. And it really strengthened my faith. And the one thing, though, that I did pray for the whole time, I'm a real eye contact person. Like I'm always looking at people's eyes when I'm talking. But I kept praying. I said, because many of these babies are born still. Right. So I just prayed and, asked God. I said, I just want to look into her eyes for 5 minutes because that's how I like really connect with people. And so I just prayed that over and over. And anytime someone would say, oh, you seem so at peace about everything, I would say I'm not, but I feel like my faith, it's God. It's only because of God. That's the only way that I have this peace, which was true. And I guess part of me felt like, okay, because I've, given him all the glory for this through it, the one small request I'm asking of, the creator of the universe for 5 minutes. And then, it didn't happen. And she was born and she was born still. So I didn't get to, and it was really, really hard. It was hard to leave the hospital. And she was born full term, just like, I think some people think it was a miscarriage, but she was born 41 weeks. And it's hard because you take the things into the hospital hoping your child's going to go home, but we also had to be prepared if she didn't go home. And it was hard to
the kids about
hear the bell every time my baby was born or, just to leave the hospital with like empty arms and not having a child to leave. But
you were so brave to go through it too, because I know that there were people that were wondering why you didn't terminate the pregnancy knowing that there was a 99% chance you weren't taking her home, I remember thinking that at first, like, oh my gosh, she's going to go through this. Like, but now, and you explained it to me in such a beautiful way that I could never have understood before, where you just said, well, if she's not going to make it, it's not me. She's not going to not make it because of me,
right.
And that just spoke to me like, you're like, this is God's decision. I mean, there's a 1% chance I'm holding on to that,
Yeah. And also doing everything I could. At the end of the day, I don't believe I'm the one in control anyway, but just doing everything that I could do to make sure she would be okay.
Yeah.
But then when she was born still, it took a while, but I became really angry at God.
Yeah.
And I was like really like I asked for 5 minutes and you couldn't give me 5 minutes. And I'm telling you, I was in a deep, deep, dark place. And I don't know that, we've also been through some other hard things lately. There is nothing that will ever compare to losing a child. Like I would never want anyone to go through it. And it's this void and darkness and we have a group of friends in Connecticut that have all been able to kind of come together on losing a child. Like 2 of our really good friends have lost children as well. And and one of the things I wanted to make sure is that I introduced you to like them, or when we first met Marnie, and I was like, oh, you've got to meet my friends, Right.
And kind of having a little bit of a community of that.
And you become instantaneously connected with someone when you find out that about them because it's something that you just don't understand. You can have compassion for, but you don't know the depths of it unless you've been through it. But I will say that I needed to get angry at God. So circling back again, I had this faith, but I think it was more emotionally based. And so I needed to get angry with God and, be pissed and be mad and be like, why didn't you give me, And there was it was a very, very long time before I could actually like open my Bible or pray because I felt like, well, if he's not going to answer my meager prayer, why would he listen to me praying for anyone else? So I had to like work through all that. But as a result of all that, I'm so close. I feel I'm so close with him now. My faith is stronger than it's ever been. And I feel like I needed to figure that out on my own because before it was all like, I don't want to say like roses and unicorns, but it's, it was a little more of that. And now I can genuinely tell people that I believe that even when you're going through like a really dark, terrible time, I believe that God is there, and there, and time to him is so finite. To us, a week seems like or a year seems like an eternity, but to him, it's like a blip.
It's a blip, yeah.
So, and he knows how long we need to get through, and it does. Like it made me who I am today,
and
I would never change it.
To other people, and you're talking about like leading your kids towards faith, like just your journey and them watching you go through that is what leads an example for them.
Yeah.
And I know that you have, and like on her birthday every year, or all the things you do for her, for Everly, like. What are some of the things you do?
So we do acts of kindness. So when we didn't call it a funeral, we called it a celebration, and we hung these little doves on a tree, and everybody could take it. We had one for every guest. You could take a dove home, and it had like an act of kindness. Because I think a lot of what stumps some people is they want to do acts of kindness, but they're not really sure what to do.
Yeah.
Right.
So we had everything from, smile at a stranger to something a lot more extravagant, donate $1,000 to we had everything. And that's what started it. And so every year on her birthday, and then every summer when we go to my favorite place on earth, Lavallette, New Jersey, to the shore, we paint shells and we write quotes on it. We leave bracelets with like a little note to pass it on. So just doing acts of kindness. But people have done
wonderful.
Like
really,
kindness rocks, right? The
So
whole
we
kindness rocks thing where you paint rocks and you write kindness things on it. We did that during COVID a lot, like especially during church, like virtual church. I would make the kids go out and get rocks. We'd wash them off, and then during church time, they would have to paint them and write something kind on it.
Yeah.
You're beautiful. You're loved. And like that kind of thing.
I know, like,
I learned that from you.
I love this woman, Joyce Meyer, listening to her. And I remember she used to always say, if you want something, go give it to somebody. And I just remember that kept going through my head. It's like, if you want a friend, go out and be a friend to someone. If you want money, go give money to someone. And so I was like, I need to be filled up. Like, I need love, because I just felt so like empty without. And I loved my kids. Like, if it weren't for my kids, I don't think I would have made it through that time. But just when you do something for someone else, it just makes you benefit.
Yeah.
I feel like more than
what's in you and magnifies what you're trying to do for them. It makes it a lot easier to focus.
It does. And so then.
Of your 4 kids that are here in Nashville right now, we've got, I just want to talk about Cash and his crazy climbing abilities.
I know.
So her
parkour
son,
kid.
Oh my gosh.
Like hanging from the beams in your house.
He's going to be one of these kids that's going to be, what's the movie, like 200 Hours or something? The guy that free climbs.
Yes.
Like,
I loved that movie too.
Her son Cash, he cracks me up.
So he got like
he is like
suction cup
Tucker's
fingers.
soulmate. Yeah. He's Tucker's soulmate. And he has like, we had to warn them when they came here, like, we were like, Tucker, do not let Cash climb on anything, because our house here has these giant ceilings
That's
railings.
You've got like the perfect house for a kid
oh my
like
gosh,
that.
But we've caught him before at old houses of ours up in Connecticut, like climbing in the rafters, and we're like, we'd have to tell her, but like. For some reason, whenever your kids are waiting in a parking lot, they climb on top of the car.
Oh, gosh.
They're like climbing. You will always find them on top of your car if you're looking for children.
It's a safe space in a parking lot.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah, when they were younger, I remember, and I have to say, none of my children have been harmed, because I remember
no.
coming back from like New York City or something. Exactly. And I come home and they're all on top of my Suburban. I get out of the taxi. I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, nothing, we're dancing. And I'm like, where's your dad? Like, you could fall down and where's dad? And they're like, I don't know. And I go inside and he's taking a nap while they're all on top of the car. And of course, nothing
surprised
happened.
he wasn't out there with
Had I
them.
done that,
someone would have broken an arm.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I love that they're, but so tell us about this book you've been reading.
Oh, free range. I free range kids.
Oh, okay.
Right? Is that what it is?
I think
Free
so.
range.
Oh, I thought it was free range.
Should have done my homework. It could be free range parenting. Thank you. I meant to bring it even. Yeah, it was recommended. I kept hearing about it over and over, and it was recommended to me. And so I picked it up. And it's not that I don't try to do these things, but I love the concept behind giving your kid, like, I think we've become too, we just hover too much over our kids, and we don't give them any
drone
freedom.
parents.
Yeah.
Helicopter's so outdated.
Right, exactly. And they have all these new terms too that I've heard, snowplow parenting, all of these things.
Snowplow parenting.
But you dig it up. Like, if they've gotten themselves in trouble, you go ahead of them and you fix it.
How parents and teachers can let go and let grow? or no?
Oh, it is
that it?
Free-Range Kids, but the older I'm reading the original. So, but it's the same thing. Oh, that one right there.
Oh, this one. Oh, yeah. Free Range Kids by Lenore Skenazy.
Yeah, and it's funny. I mean, I could not put it down on the airplane. And typically on an airplane, I read a little bit, but then I want to take a nap. Or I couldn't put it down. It was so good. And she's hysterical.
But this is right in line with what I've been like. Oh, The Whole Brain Child, too. This is supposed to be a good one. Anyway, within this, we've been talking a lot about parenting books recently because I've been reading so many.
I love
parenting
books.
Like how to raise an adult is another.
And I was like, I'll be in the car and I'm getting on. I've been listening to an audiobook on parenting or a podcast, or I'm reading a book and I get on. I'm like, I am ready. And then one of my kids does something and I'm like yelling at them. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what am I supposed to do? And I can't remember what So I try to like write it down, or I send a text to myself.
Yeah. No, I think it was just about this time last year that I was like, for this 1 month, there's going to be no yelling in this house. And I think it was like 10 seconds later, I realized I was like, you need to get your shoes out and get out the door. You're not listening to me.
Yeah.
We're not going to yell in this house. And I'm like, oh.
Whoops. Yeah, right. And that's
Ruined
typically
it
what happens. Exactly.
Already. But we have to keep trying.
I know.
Keep getting back on the horse.
But she was known for, she sent her, he was either 8 or 9 years old, her child on the subway, but he wanted to, what the backstory was he wanted the opportunity to do it and talk to them about it. And so they talked through it, what he would do, where he needed to go. So she knew her child and felt like he was ready for it. So put him on the subway. So she sort of got a bad rap for that.
Oh.
But
for allowing him to go alone.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in the city,
the
city feels like an isolated sort of place. Like, I don't know.
I see, growing up in the South, we don't have anything like that. So for me, it'd be like, what age would I let my kid ride their bike to a friend's house by themselves or something like that? It would be the equivalent.
It depends on where you live too,
and who you know is around. Like, I was 12 when I moved to New York City, or maybe like 13, and I was taking the subway. My sister's taking the subway all the way up to the Bronx for school. I'm taking a subway to Columbus Circle for school, and the other ones were walking across the street to the public school. So, we had to. My mom had no choice. She couldn't be with all of us at the same time. So it was like, well, you guys are on your own. At first we started taking the bus, but Trisha had to go so far, like Bronx from where we lived
an all-day
so
affair.
far. Yeah. And not necessarily safer.
Right.
So, Trisha could go down and get on, as J-Lo made it famous, the 6. She would get on the 6 train and go up to the Bronx. I would get on the AC and E and end up at Columbus Circle. But, it was like one shot. Like, you didn't have to change trains and stuff like that. Yeah. So you just had to go down there, stand by the police station, and then like jump on the train and then get off the train and walk up the stairs. So to me, it's actually, I always said every teenager needs to spend a few years in the city. Like,
agreed.
It teaches you like independence. Yes. Everything is nearby. You can meet so many. You have to deal with people. Yeah. Like, you have to deal with all kinds of people.
I'm trying to remember how old I was the first time I spent more than a couple of days in New York, and I think I was 18.
Yeah,
and I was there for a few weeks, on my own. Yeah. And it was.
I think it's important, honestly. But then you should have to go to the country too, and have to live there for a little while and get used to quiet.
That was my whole life. So.
Yeah. But it's one thing to be like,
though.
To go, yeah. But I think this falls in line with what she's saying is creating these opportunities for your kids to actually experience independence and freedom, because that's what helps them grow. It doesn't help them if we're saving them from everything
I've been talking a lot about resilience. I think The Price of Privilege, there's a lot in there about
I really
resilience.
Want to read that book. Yeah.
I think there's a lot about just the independence is a huge component of it. There's a book called How to Raise an Adult, and it's written by a college admissions person. And she talks all about she can tell when parents are writing the essays for their kids, or when they've, helped them out with a test or a project. Or she said at one point, one kid was going off to West Point and his mom got an apartment nearby just to keep an eye on him, make sure he did his lawn,
for college?
For college, which is too much.
So I am I think that there's so much in all of these different parenting philosophies that is great, but you just kind of have to pick and choose what you're going to apply, because every kid is different. There's not a blanket that's right for any one child or any group of children. And I don't I look at these individual kids, and granted, this day and age, our kids will never know the level of independence that we had.
No, unfortunately.
And,
They'll never drink out of a hose or ride their
can't.
bike to their friend's house. Really, it's not the same.
And it's not those things that I feel like is the real issue. It's what they're exposed to.
Yeah.
I mean, the cameras are everywhere.
Well, fear factor,
like, they
too.
make
they can't DoorDash. You know, Mason, not DoorDash. That's an app. Brady still likes to go back to Connecticut and ring and run.
No, you can't do that.
He did it recently at our house in Nashville, and I was like, dude, you're gonna get
shot.
arrested. And the cops did come because people are like, someone's at my door, someone's running up and down the street, someo's, and it's like, I mean, these kids can't have any fun anymore. Kick the can is gone.
Past year, a kid literally got shot and killed because an innocent prank. He rang the wrong doorbell.
Went to the wrong door. Yeah.
You know, and those are the things like you're like, it was just innocent fun. And when we were kids, we used to roll people's houses.
Mark told me about forking people's yards.
Oh, forking yards. Oh, yeah.
This
must be a Southern thing.
You
know milking yards? Have you ever milked a yard?
What's that?
That's worse. It's way worse. So you would pour gallons of milk on the lawn and it would curdle in the sun the next day.
My little anti-waste heart is like, ugh.
I know.
Yeah.
Wait, what would it do?
Well, and if you grew up in a town with a dairy like we did, it really wasn't hard to come by a large amount of milk.
Wait, what would you do? It would just...
So you'd pour it on the lawn and it would curdle and it would just smell.
Oh my God.
Is there anyone you need to apologize to right now?
Wait, so
I claim no.
So my grown-ass father, who's now like senior citizen, in not so long ago, his favorite prank, if he got mad at really not just a prank, like if he was mad at someone, would take a fish because he works in a
and put it
marina.
in their engine.
No, you stick it between the back seat, like if it's a truck, between the back seat and the window. They'll never find it. It will rot so bad that it'll smell so bad they have to throw the car away. Like
terrible.
So here's another thing about growing up Southern: you can hide a fish in a lot of places.
Yeah.
In the car.
Yeah.
So that was the thing that we did to ex-boyfriends who were kind of a jerk, or whatever. Yeah. The rule in my house was in order to drive a car, you had to know how to fix your own car. And granted, I basically drove a go-kart. I had a 92 Cabriolet. So it was not really that hard to learn how to fix it. But because of those skills and knowing how to work on my own car, I also knew where all the little spaces and crevices were. Yeah. And maybe where the air filters were.
And that is big enough to fit a nice fish.
Well, or just like a half a can of tuna.
That's terrible. Oh, that's
so gross, Amanda. But wait, I want to go back to the forking because this cracks me up. For those that don't know about forking a lawn,
you just take plastic forks and you shove them all in.
You shove them in, but fork up, right? I had to ask Mark all the details. Fork side up, the prongs are up.
No,
right?
no,
the prongs are down,
and then do you break
it off?
You break what's on top of the surface, and over the course of time, as the grass grows, the forks come out of the ground, right? You can't mow the lawn.
It's a thing.
Yeah, that's damaging. It's one of those things. If someone did that to me, I'd be like, "You are dead." I am putting a fish in your car now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amanda and her sister are really good at pranks, but these are
excellent.
Don't do these. Don't do these.
No, I would never do that to anybody now. But, my other favorite.
I hope my kids don't hear this. But
I don't think they can't get away with any of this anymore. Now
they really can't.
So Krispy Kreme at the end of every night throws out their donuts in boxes into their dumpster.
What?
Yes.
Oh, I'm going tonight.
And so
we'll go steal some tonight.
Krispy
Let's
all
Krispy Kreme.
I grew up with a bunch of stepbrothers who were older than me. I won't name their names, but if they hear this, I'm sorry for ratting you out right now. And they would go and they would take their pickup truck and they would fill up the back of the truck with the donuts that had been tossed out. And then they would go to a friend's vehicle or maybe not a friend's vehicle. And the glaze was set just enough that if it was the right temperature outside, they would just stick.
Oh, no.
And they would literally just cover an outside of a vehicle.
Can you get that off?
And Krispy Kreme.
Or does that ruin the paint?
No, it doesn't ruin the paint. I mean, if you left it there forever, it might.
Because shaving cream ruin. We used to use.
You're gonna drive down the road to the car wash covered in donuts. Oh, they do that too. No, they would do that too.
One in their mouth, one in the car. One in the mouth, one in the car.
Or whenever I'd go down.
They ate plenty of dumpster donuts too.
Whenever I would fly down to Atlanta to visit my dad, if we were in the car together, if the hot light was on, he'd be like, "Stop."
See, this is something we didn't learn about. So Dunkin' Donuts, and I just learned this from Will Friedle from Boy Meets World, who on his podcast was talking about how Dunkin' Donuts, he didn't realize, and I didn't realize, being from New York, that the Dunkin' Donuts guy, this time to make the donuts commercial. Have you seen this up in the north?
Yeah.
Okay. So this like, old round man is like getting out of bed and putting on his apron, time to make the donuts, and then goes to work, puts on the apron, time to make the donuts, starts making time to make the donut, and then like it's the Dunkin' Donuts commercial, but like that was
we didn't
our
have that.
Krispy Kreme up north, I think, where you guys had this. Now everything's going global, but
My grandparents' anniversary date for many years was they would go drive their Crown Vic to the Krispy Kreme that still had the bench seat across the front, mind you, and they would order a dozen Krispy Kreme, and they would sit there in the front seat, hold hands, and eat all of the Krispy Kreme.
To be young and have a metabolism.
Or to be 75 and like
they
adorable.
did it when they were old?
Yes, that was like their favorite
that's
day.
Mark and I, when we're old, we're so going to do that.
It was precious. And I mean, we're talking
I'll
about
be
my grandmother
smoking
who would
cigarettes.
nibble on a corn of cob, and be like, oh, I'm so full.
Yeah.
One of those good old Southern
And then
ladies. But she
shoving
could shove
donuts.
6 Krispy Kreme donuts.
Oh my gosh.
Now I want Krispy
Maybe
Kreme
I'll do
donut.
that instead of my smoking. It'll probably be healthier to eat a lot of donuts than to smoke again.
I
Because
think
when I'm
Mark
70,
might
I'm going to
appreciate
start.
the donuts more than
Well, I'm hoping Mark will join me in the smoking when we're 70. Come on. Like,
No.
70, come on.
Your teeth will like fall out of your
My
head.
teeth will already be out of my head.
Bad
by now. Maybe
idea.
like 80. Maybe I'll push
Bad
it to
idea.
80.
Ugh.
All right, so we have to ask Brooke our season 8 questions. Are you
right.
ready?
I'm ready.
I kind of buttered her up with this at lunch today, so we'll see how she does.
Hang on, I gotta find it.
Here, I've got it written down. I'm old fashioned.
I got it.
Is there a standalone book you wish had a sequel?
I was thinking about this. There's 2 of them, 2 books that I've bought repeatedly for people. One is Life's Greatest Lessons by Hal Urban. It's just a book. I've probably bought it 30 times for other people. And it is just such a great resource for many reasons. And I wish I had a sequel, although I was saying it might, and maybe I feel as if I've
Missed it.
recently saw something. I don't know, but if not, it definitely should. And the other one is, I think the title is Cleaning House. This is a parenting book. Cleaning House by Kay Wilma Wimes or something. Kay is her first name. And it was such a helpful book. And every time I pick it back up and look at it, like what I've underlined or highlighted, it's useful again.
When
but
you
it's
could actually apply.
Yeah, right. When I can remember.
Is it literally about like keeping organization? in the house?
No.
Okay.
It's the opening of the book, she talks about her son, who was a teenager. They pull up to a stoplight and he's like, that's the car I'm going to have, Mom, because he's 15 or something, and it's like a Porsche. And she said she realized, okay, he is not aware, because they're arguing back and forth as you would with a teen son about this kind of thing. And she's trying to explain to him, like, no, that's not the kind of car you're going to have. So she realized, okay, there are certain skills that I need my kids to have before I send them out into the world.
Yeah.
And so it's this whole list of things.
That's
and
great.
one of them is
I need to hurry and read that before Mason leaves.
Yeah. It's like a party, like planning it, organizing it, going to the store to buy the groceries for, and it could be small.
I
but
kind
just
of made Brady do
walking
that
them through a lot
recently.
of these skills, like
Yeah,
laundry.
We talked about that this morning.
Yeah, and just all of the things, and a lot of them are basic things that it's almost as if like it's intuitive. You just know how to do it, but you think like, oh, that's something I've never taught my kids to do.
Well, that's
like you talking about the car. That's something I'm going to
We've been asking, I was taught somewhere along the way, not too long ago, to ask them what they want to learn from us before they leave the house. And, Mark and I came up with, you need to know how to jump a car. You probably need to learn how to, jumping a car I think is just helpful because you can do that without AAA.
Well, and
But
you can help other people with that.
And you can help other people with that. And you need to know which battery is, I still
Black to black,
struggle.
red to red.
Oh, is that what you do?
Yeah.
I still struggle with that. I'm like, I know, but it scares the crap out of me.
I'm
that
gonna
I'm
teach
die.
you the proper
No,
way to
I've
do
like
this.
watched it so many times. I've done it, but it terrifies me.
I'm
when I touch
just saying,
the
I'm
battery.
laughing at you, but I'm exactly the
I'm like,
same.
yeah, and I never had to change a tire before, but I know how. Like,
Haven't
I
you
know
just
how.
like clicked them together just to like make it spark?
No,
that
because
would
I'm
scare me.
terrified I'm going to die. I'm terrified. Something about
Are
lightning.
you
and
a
electricity.
younger child?
I'm the middle child.
Right. So we're the oldest.
Yeah, so
I
we're
think
afraid of
that's,
things.
I think it
I'm
goes
not
hand
afraid.
in hand.
I'm not really
do.
afraid, but like, there's a certain healthy fear of like, I don't want to be near a gun. I don't want to be near electricity. I don't want to be near like.
I
There's certain
learned
things.
all my life
lightning,
lessons
tornadoes. Mm-mm.
by watching my older sister,
Right.
who is here, by the way, and I will introduce you to her later. She's amazing. We didn't get along so much as children and teens, but we've come a long way. Then my younger brother. And so watching their mistakes, like I got out scot-free because I was like, I'm not doing that. Not doing that. Like,
or I'm going to do it a different way.
Right.
I'm going to do it. Yeah.
So I had the examples set for me on both sides.
Yeah.
And then my dad, who is like this super handy guy, I mean, he kind of had to. My parents were divorced and, you know, so he was raising the three of us as teenagers at home by himself. So, I mean, it was kind of survival mode, but it was a lot of like throwing us into situations.
Well, that's
like,
different than what these kids don't go through that. Like we've told them, I was like, every college that we've looked at has a barbecue section for the dorms, right? And I'm like, Mason, do you know how to grill a burger?
Right.
Like you
Those
probably
are
need to
great
know how to
things
grill a
know.
burger or cook up a chicken or something, you know, let's
I
figure
taught
out.
Riker how to make grilled cheese the other night and I changed his life.
I did that with mac and cheese with Tucker. Grilled cheese probably would have been a better option. Maybe I'll go to that next.
But he's so excited to make it now.
Yes.
It's like
he pulls a chair up and he sits there and makes it, but he makes a mess. But I'm like, that's okay. He made his own food.
Did they clean up after? I told Riker that's the number one thing. If you use the kitchen, you clean up after yourself. And so I walked him through the entire process from getting everything out of the fridge to throwing everything into the trash can when we were done.
See, my kids don't have that attention span. I feel like they get.
I mean, mine
he's
don't
like,
either.
I stir it, I strain it, I put the cheese in, we're good. Like
It's just the
that's all he can
coaching,
handle.
and I get frustrated with the messes too. But I feel like the other day, my daughter, she's really sweet. She gets up every morning during my son too, my oldest son too, and they cook their own breakfast.
Oh,
eggs,
Mason went
pancakes.
through that phase for a little while though.
she
How long that
started,
lasted?
No, it's been for
Really?
over a year. Yeah,
good.
and she's sweet. She'll make pancakes for everybody on a
girls.
Saturday.
Girls.
And so my husband was cleaning. I was frustrated.
I think it is, but Hunter, does
I was
Hunter
a little
do it?
frustrated because it was no, but
Mainly Emerson.
yeah, but I was like, okay, Emerson, honey, you have to, if you clean up as you go, it makes it easier.
Yes.
And my husband was cleaning because you know what, Emerson, it's the times like this that you're cooking for everyone else, I don't mind cleaning up your mess.
Oh, yeah.
And it really was like, yeah, he's right. You know,
Yeah.
maybe I should just.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like,
cable
if someone
on that.
else cooks, I will clean.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
Mark
yeah,
will
same,
cook, I'll
same,
clean.
'cause I don't love cooking.
But but if I'm cooking, please clean for me. Like,
Yeah.
But I also will go along, and that's how I end up burning things because I'm like, oh, I need to put the milk back in the fridge, and then I need to put the oh, while I'm in the fridge, I might as well wipe down every shelf, and then I'm like, oh God, the water burnt to the pot. You know, like the water's gone and everything. The
Because you're a doer. You are always like doing.
I am like, I
doing,
just,
doing.
I think I'm OCD. Like I see things and I'm like, I have to fix that now. Mark gets crazy. We'll sit in the hot tub and like, I'll look around and be like, all right, I need to stain the chairs and I need to fix that plant and I need to, that's off balance and that's crooked and I need to go fix that pillow.
Don't you
and
think
he's
that's
like,
more
stop.
Wives, a lot of. Do you do that? I
think we can't help it.
depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're fixers.
I can force myself into like a sense of relaxation, but I legitimately just have to like confine my eyes. Like I have to be reading a book or I have to like be going to sleep.
I've noticed
yes.
Mason does this and I've started doing it. Like listening to classical music helps me focus on one, like if there's something going on that's not distracting me, but it's there, I wonder if it's from like living in New York City and all the street noise, like a white noise that was always there, like having something like kind of centers me.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Mason
Dave
started
loves
doing it
classical
too.
music. That's what he plays, and it calms everybody. Yeah.
Oh, he's my favorite. What's your first video game?
The Atari.
Oh, yes.
What was it called? Yeah. Tennis?
Pong?
Pong.
I call
Yes.
it tennis too.
Yeah.
She's like, no, it's Pong.
Yeah.
What's the best dish you can whip up?
Ooh, my stuffed peppers. It's one of those dishes that you would think kids wouldn't like,
They love it.
and they love it.
What do you put in it?
So it's bell peppers, and I like to get a variety of the colors, and then you scoop them out, de-seed them, and then you do a mixture of it. It's beef, but now I've, I'm trying to eat more like turkey and chicken. So either ground chicken or ground turkey, and then a little bit of tomato sauce. The French's fried onions, that's the key.
Ooh.
And then I throw vegetables in there, like I shred up spinach or kale and put it in there, mix it up a little bit of cheese, and then you scoop that into, you cook the turkey or the chicken.
You put the
mix it.
fried onions in it?
Yeah, a little bit of fried onions, put it in the oven.
That's probably what makes it so delicious.
And then when you pull it out, you sprinkle it on the top.
So I do this
yeah.
recipe, but with acorn squash.
Oh, yeah.
It's similar. That I'm going
Oh.
to use the fried onions. We call them,
Delicious.
oh gosh, what are they called? Space pumpkins.
Oh,
I mean, because kids will eat anything.
Yes.
You give them
Yeah,
a weird
I
name.
know.
Oh, no. Are you
Yes.
kidding? With Mason, like for some reason I was able to get him to eat. We called it white rocks was tofu. Stone soup was lentil soup. Trees, of course, were broccoli. And then dinosaur bones were ribs. They would always eat them, like, chew on the dinosaur bones. You know,
That's cute.
My kids are evil. If you went to jail, what would your crime be?
My crime would be either being caught for breaking into a fantastic vintage store, specifically the Attic in Las Vegas, if it still exists, or breaking into Kelly Wersler's home, trying to steal one of her beautiful marbled pieces that I probably wouldn't be able to carry.
Who is Kelly
or
Wersler?
her
I've heard you
shoes,
talk
or
about
her.
her.
Oh, she's my favorite designer in the world.
Interior designer?
Interior designer.
Okay. Does she have like books?
Yeah, and she does. Oh. And she has an amazing sense of style. And I was really inspired by her when we built our house.
Well, Brooke was just able to build a beautiful new house, and she put your wallpapers and your textures and like her shelves, and then
I know I would.
But
love
your table. Tell her about what you do with your table.
Oh yeah. So actually, I believe this idea originated from Bob Goff, and then my friend Sarah Lucenta shared it with me. But everyone that comes over, we have black Sharpie markers, and when they come over to our house, we have them sign underneath the table. So they can draw pictures or put a quote.
I love
sign
that.
anything.
But she's you guys are great with like knowing how to mix patterns and colors and textures and like just making things like such a feast for the eyes, like just delicious. And you look at it and go, wow, I would never think to put these things together, and I could just imagine that's the way both of the inside of your brains are.
Or like an outfit. I just love, like, if there's a favorite outfit, I think about it and that inspires like decorating a room.
Yeah.
Ugh, makes me jealous because I don't have that. I'm like,
I get inspired by looking at other people's stuff though. There's a Trini Woodall who was like it wasn't What Not to Wear, but it was something like that years ago. She's like a English woman who's a stylist and she's fabulous. But I love watching her videos because she'll go through her expansive closet and she'll pull out stuff that she hasn't worn in like a decade or something. She's like, oh, I still really love this. But she'll get in there and she'll like put it on. She's like, well, this is kind of dated. And I mean, she'll literally be cutting it off with scissors and or folding collars in and layers. Trini Woodall.
Is she on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she is. And but like sometimes I don't think to do those things until I've seen someone else do it.
Yeah.
And like, I like to be a thought originator, but when it comes to fashion and art and interior design, like it's kind of all been done.
You got to find inspiration.
So you have to find.
But during COVID, I had all these T-shirts, and I was like, I do not wear T-shirts. I don't like the high neck. Doesn't flatter me. I feel like usually they're like stiff and uncomfortable. So I took some scissors and just started experimenting with like cutting every T-shirt.
I love to do that.
Some of them worked okay. Most of them were janky. Like some of them, I was like, this is not cool. Like.
But now they have these fantastic YouTube tutorials.
I never think to go there. I'm just like, I'm going to figure something out, be creative. And then I'm like, bleh, it doesn't work.
Well, I so much of it is trial and error. Though.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I'm ready to try again. I'm ready to buy some T-shirts.
I love that that's a thing for you too.
She's obsessed with interior design, and she's so good at it.
Too. It makes me very happy.
But I think those two things go together. Like style and like interior design is like style. You know, you guys are just good at that.
My sister-in-law, when I used to go there, I'd go through her closet and like put outfits together with her jewelry and lay them out.
Fun.
I loved it.
I had so many plans for you while you were here to like interior design my house, and all we've come up with is let's put some plants over there.
And
I was worried. I was like, I hope she doesn't get sick of me after a few days. And just today, I was like, I wish I was staying like 5 more days.
I know, because I keep going, well, we still haven't talked about this,
Just
or we still haven't done that, or
I love it.
There's no
it's still
not to.
summer break
I just
for you
have
guys.
these things called kids.
Yeah.
No, I'm
they
We
get in
can
the way.
occupy
We've
them.
ignored them a lot.
No, they love it. They've had the
Send them to
best
school
time.
with the others.
Yeah,
It'll be fine.
no, they've had the best
Speaking
time.
of kids, what was your favorite toy as a kid?
Oh, Barbies, hands down.
Oh yeah. Did you see the movie?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh.
But I really want to go
wanna know what
with
you
some
think.
girls that we can dress
Maybe we can
in
ditch the kids
pink
tonight and go tonight.
and get decked out and
I still have a boa in my car.
Go without me.
I know.
Oh, come with the. Oh.
Can't.
Oh. All right. Me.
I actually I have a Vera Wang Barbie in my closet.
You do.
Shut up. In
My
the box.
closet
Is it a
is
wedding dress Barbie because of your wedding?
Yeah, it's a wedding dress Barbie. I want to say I think my mom gave it to me. But yeah, it's in my closet.
Oh.
Yeah.
I bet that's worth a lot of money. Probably could have paid for your renovation of your house with that.
We don't sell precious things
It's
like
in
that.
the attic. It's fine. Get
It's
rid
in
of
her
it.
closet.
Buy a new
It's not in her attic.
wallpaper
she looks at
for
it
your
still.
fabulous.
I do. I have all the things in there that I love.
Yeah. Well, and you're lucky you have a girl. Again, I just recently, my house is now got enough display shelves that I was able to put up my Shirley Temple porcelain doll collection that's been in an attic for 20 years. And Mark kept saying, can we get rid of this or do we have to move it again? And I'm like, someday I'm going to have a girl or a granddaughter. I'm going to put all my dolls out.
Yeah.
And now everyone's like, it's so creepy. I'm like, whatever, shut up.
I loved him.
What is your unpopular opinion?
Oh, we discussed this.
Yes.
The fact that I asked my daughter too, the fact I love Circus Peanuts.
Yeah.
That is an
That is
unpopular
a very
opinion.
unpopular.
Yeah.
Like I would say like black licorice. It's like,
There have been people in my life that I like have an instant connection with. And if they love Circus Peanuts, I'm like, that's why I love it. There's something there.
yeah.
And this soul.
It's like me with
Yeah.
anyone that has 3 boys. I'm like, you have 3 boys? We're best friends.
Yeah. But the Circus Peanuts, there's some
Circus
people that like
Peanuts.
Circus Peanuts are just my
I
people.
smelled them yesterday. I have to try them. I feel like
And maybe my boys love them.
Really?
Yeah, and it makes me so happy. Even when they steal them from me, it makes me happy that there are 2 people in the family that
You're
love them. Like,
continuing
yes,
that agree,
exactly.
that, took some of your DNA like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
We're gonna do an episode of a show called
Try this.
Try This. She's gonna shove things in my mouth and I'm gonna try things.
I love it.
It's
I
gonna be
love that
very
idea.
interesting.
That's super fun.
What's your pet peeve?
Littering, for sure, or sand in my bed, which I'm getting. I'm getting a
that
little
is so
used to.
Yeah. You're getting used to it. Who's bringing sand in your bed? Dave, shower.
No, he does. Even when you do shower. So we just spent a long time in this place, Lavalette, that I love so much.
It's Jersey
And
Shore.
The Jersey Shore, yeah. And I would get in the bed and I'd wipe it out before I have no idea, but I don't.
It's
Falling
stuck
out of
to
your
the
crack.
bottom of your feet.
Your hair.
Yeah, and
your
the kids
hair.
would
Your
climb
ears.
in there to watch TV, and I come in and I'd be like, "Get out of the bed! Get your sandy feet out!"
Kids out of the
I
bed.
know that's where it came from. But littering is a big one.
Yeah. You said you used to since COVID, I think.
Yeah, I was saying that I used to, wherever I went, if I saw a piece of trash on the floor or something, I would just pick it up and throw it away, and I would encourage the kids too, as I had kids. But it's interesting because since COVID, I was saying
You don't touch
can't
as
I don't
much
really
stuff.
do it as much.
Yeah. I'll do it for
When
like
I feel
the
like-
lid of a soda or so,
Yeah.
like that kind of something that maybe, definitely wasn't licked or two handled. But yeah, certain things I just won't do anymore. Is there a place that you still want to go on your bucket list?
Oh, let's see. I've always wanted to go to Turks and Caicos. I think because when I worked at Gourmet, a lot of my coworkers went there and they loved it. And I've just always wanted to go.
All right, let's do that. I'm like, we can do that.
Girls trip.
Listen, my 50th is coming up. I mean, these are the visions I have, girls, of the 50th. I don't know if you're into. I love like Hollywood Regency style, West Palm Beach.
Yes, let's go to
And
the
these
breakers.
are things I've loved since I was little. And so we have a lot of it in our house. Like our I wanted a
Yeah,
screen
you do.
porch because I'm
Yeah.
Southern. And it has like huge black and white checkered
Checkerboard
tiles,
boards.
the green and the pink.
You have
the
like palm shapes. Yeah. Like
all and so I
palm
envision
prints and
like
stuff, right?
the long robe with the boa.
Wait, is this like West Palm Beach or is this more like
and
Palm,
turbans
like,
and giant glasses?
what's it called out in LA? Palm Springs. Is it
But a little boat, like all of it. I'll take any of it. I love it
combine the
all.
two?
I love it.
It's like wherever any elderly people,
I am
snowbirds
there.
head off to.
I'm inviting myself to your 50th.
yes, please come.
Can I be a
I'm
vagine
just-
for this, please?
Yeah.
You can be a vagine. We have our group called the Vagines. You can all at home imagine
Oh,
what that
my
stands for. We have a party called the Vagine Party. But that starts
It
with
is
you.
what you think it is.
Because of her interesting style. It started with, aren't you the one that stole
No, it's yeah,
You
I love
stole it.
it. So there's this, I'd say, interesting
plant
piece of
is it porcelain? What does that
object
mean?
d'art. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sculpture?
It's got like
It
3 or
is
4
a-
blooms of a flower on it.
Yeah, it's like an orchid.
Yeah.
And it's funny, when my mom first came to see our house, the first thing she pointed out was that. And I'm
Vagine.
forgetting the maker of it, but she said, "Oh, is that a such and such
Oh, it's
piece?
like
That's
kind
beautiful."
of like like a Hummel or something. Like
Something. If I heard it, I would know it. But she was fascinated with it, so I had to tell the girls that was the first thing she noticed, not
noticed
the floors or the
Well, so our
wallpaper.
friend Lisa was like, I got to
Yeah.
get rid of this thing. And like I think she had it in a pile of junk or something to go to Goodwill. And Brooke's like, I want that. And so she put it on her shelf and all of a sudden it sat there for a year. And somehow we did a white elephant gift exchange and that vagine ended up in there. And basically now the game is whoever ends up with vagine and the white elephant party has to have the party the next year.
That's so
Yeah.
fun.
So our friend Sheetal is having it this year.
Right. And she's like, maybe you just take it. Someone said, maybe you just take a picture and bring it. Because I'm like, I want it. I was so upset.
yeah,
Actually,
she still wants
when
vagine.
When
She
we
keeps
opened the
vagine
gifts,
on her
we
shelf.
were opening gifts. And if you get it, then you host the party. And I did it last year. So I went to grab the one and someone's like, no, don't get that. And I thought I was like, I'm just going to do it again because I wanted the piece.
She wants the
So I open
vagine.
it and they're like, you can't do it again. You just did it last year. And I'm like, I know, but I want the piece in my house. It looks so nice.
And we named
so
it that
they said
because
I
it
could
looks
sit-
like
yeah.
4 vaginas on a plane. Like that's what the piece of art looks like, and that's why it became the Vagine party. Yes, I have a
Really
purse.
great.
I have a Dior purse named Vagine.
You do?
Because of our
I gotta
girls.
see
Yeah,
that.
it's a red purse, and you really have to stick your hand in the lips to get in that purse. Kind of scratches you up a little bit.
When I blush.
What is your go-to toenail color? Well, right now it's white.
Well, right now it's white because I actually took a page from my daughter's book. She only ever does white. And
I just started doing white, and I noticed you had it, and I was like, oh, if she has
it would be rainbow. It would be
Oh, yeah.
all things rainbow. So
I support
when we
this.
were,
Just have the rainbow toes.
I had the rainbow toes. And
Wait,
then for
so like,
years,
are your big toes the same color? Like both big toes are blue,
well,
and then
no,
middle
they
toes
try to do that, and I'm like, no. I want to mix it up, so it's
nothing's
not
the same color.
So I use the same 5 colors, but I mix it up. So the big toe might be pink, the left big toe might be red, not red, blue. But you know what I mean?
So you've got 2 toes of the same color.
Now you can do them like vertical ombre. Have you seen this?
Oh yes, I love
Vertical.
So you have
I have
2
a nail board on
colors on each toe
Oh,
or
no.
each nail, and they kind of blend into each other. So you get this like ombre effect rainbow all the way across.
Oh, that's cool.
It's beautiful.
I can't sit for that long for something that costs that much for something that's going to last so little time.
But if you get the gels,
Look at- you look so disappointed in me, Amanda.
Like, it's art.
Your face, you were like, what?
Art takes time.
I know, but I don't care. No one sees my toes except Wiki feet.
Well,
think
see, when I
Wiki
go-
feet begs to
yes.
differ.
Those are my toes from like 1996. Come on.
No, there was an updated photo just the other day.
Oh, crap. Oh, no.
I checked your rating when our
I
friend
haven't had a
was on.
pedicure in a long time.
Was it Christy who was on that we looked
Yeah.
at Wiki Feet?
Yes.
Yeah,
And I had a new photo on there.
there was a new one.
Oh, I hope my toes were pretty. I don't
You
care.
still had
I
a
really
5
don't give a
star,
crap, but
so
yeah, all right. So it didn't ruin it. Ugh. What's your favorite piece of jewelry? Do you have like one really special?
piece of jewelry that I own. Well, I think it would be my engagement ring.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like the go-to
Yeah,
answer.
no.
I think I love it because I did not know that Dave was going to ask me when he did, and he picked it out because at the time, Sex and the City was very popular. I wasn't even watching it, but I don't know why. So I had this thing where I loved the big. It was very in for a while. The big, huge floral
yes,
pin. So when I would work, I'd wear this like sleek suit
with the
and
big
then
giant
some
pin.
bit. And I just became known for wearing these. And I wanted it to be different than everyone else's. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like your normal. Like I had one that was silk and it was like ombre dipped. It was really unusual. I know it probably sounds terrible today.
No, I'd
But
still
anyway,
wear it,
and then he asked me one day, he's like, if you had an engagement ring, what would you want it to look like? And I think I'd said something about I would want it to have trillions on the sides. So my engagement ring is a mix of, I don't know if you can see, it's like flowers and then there's
I love it. I noticed
trillions.
Trillions mean.
The little like
triangles.
triangles
Oh, okay.
on each side.
Oh,
And
I
it's just
see.
like, I don't know, it's
I
just
don't know
so
anything.
different.
So unique.
Nobody else has anything.
Did he have it made
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
This is so cool.
He plays into all her creative
Really
tendencies, which is
beautiful.
lovely.
Wow. Oh, I thought your bands were attached. How
No,
cool.
yeah.
That's really beautiful.
And then I love like I love a billion bracelets.
Your kids'
would
bra-
be,
yeah, you
yeah,
do.
the ones that my kids make. Ones the
Yeah,
girls. You guys gave me the one that says
Yeah.
warrior on it, and
I have these as well from the girls.
Yeah.
From our
just I don't know.
Vagine girls. All right, we're gonna do this or that. That's you. You're up.
I'm up.
Amanda's up with her this
doing
or
it.
that.
I'm
These are just quick
doing it.
questions. And then we're gonna ask you to put a secret. Oh, first we're gonna ask
love
you, wait,
this.
where's your phone? Your phone's not in here.
It's not in here.
Oh, we'll have to skip the email question this week.
Oh,
We usually
what
ask
is it?
everybody how many unread emails do you have? Do you know?
Oh, it's probably 30,000 at least.
Oh, yeah. See, you guys are both like
Yeah.
these creative.
You have a type.
It is.
Again.
Yeah.
Here it
know.
is.
Yeah.
Creative, like your
Yeah.
brain is just all over the place with like
Yeah.
splashes of color. I'd imagine it's like
Yeah.
troll dolls mixed with Care Bears mixed with like
Man.
gummies and like it's like Wreck-It Ralph in
fascinating
your head or
place to be.
something.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of Wreck-It Ralph, there was this guy on Instagram that I found yesterday. I got served a video. He was chopping wood. He has literal Wreck-It Ralph arms, like
Oh,
an
really?
actual human. He's
Really?
Giant forearms.
and he like arm wrestles people. Massive. I've never seen anything like it.
Like a Viking. Some kind of
Yeah,
a Viking.
kind of. But it was like his proportions were so odd. I was like, this can't be real. This is like computer generated. So then I go back and I'm looking, and sure enough, no, like he does these videos of him like picking up normal size items.
What's his name? We got to find his name.
I'm going to have to go back and find
All right,
it.
you have to let us know next week.
It's wild. It is wild. Anyways, this or that. Pineapple or pepperoni on your pizza?
Oh, pineapple. I mean,
Right? You guys.
I love
you.
pepperoni, but pineapple is
Special.
Yeah, even when we were at La Peep today, they had a pineapple drink, and it was hard for me to decide between the coffee and the pineapple drink.
Do you like pina
I love
coladas? Are you like into like
Do you like
everything?
I do. I mean, I like them.
And getting
I
cut?
try not to have those anymore. I do enjoy a pina colada or two.
I'm team pineapple. I'm actually allergic to pineapple, but I still
Really?
love it.
Wow.
Especially if it's cooked, I can get away with it. So
It's an anti-inflammatory.
Is
too,
it?
I believe, yeah.
really? Well, tell my body that. Floss or toothpick?
Floss.
Band or orchestra?
Ooh. I want to, oh, wow, that's a tough one for me.
Both or neither?
My favorite music in the world, I don't know if you even know, is jazz.
Oh, really?
I love them both because my kids have done both, and I was forced to play piano. I'm sorry, Mom. She knows that I didn't. And she's like, when I walked away, she's like, when you're 18, you can leave, but you're going to look back and regret it. And I was like, I've never looked back a day. But then all of a sudden recently, I'm like, I wish I could play the piano again.
too.
So I really
During
did.
COVID,
I know. So I don't know. I'd have to say both.
We're right, Mom. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Especially with the cream cheese.
Texture thing.
Yeah, the texture thing.
Cardio or weights?
Cardio. Love you,
Shake
Herman and Mark.
Mark looked at me like I'd sinned just for like even asking. I was like,
But weights are so important, especially for women and women my age.
Seem too like, I mean, they're heavy and they're hard, but
too
like
easy? No.
like cardio for me is hard, but it feels like I worked out. You know what I
it
mean?
feels
Like,
like
I think
I'm
that's why I like
dying.
it. But like,
But I also think there's a misconception. Like women, I think too often we go too light with the weights. 'Cause
yeah,
women
that's true.
feel they're going to bulk up when really we need to be doing heavier weights,
to
and then you're
protect
going
our
to feel
joints
it
and
a lot
give
more.
us
Yeah,
that muscle for
Yeah.
getting old
yeah.
in our old age.
Protect your bones.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Shaken or stirred does not have to apply to alcohol. It can be your coffee. It can
Anything.
be your
Ooh,
mocktails. It can
shaken.
shaken. All right. Reality or true crime?
True crime for sure.
Threads or X?
Threads or X.
These are, you don't even know social
What is
media.
this?
X
Oh,
is
gosh,
what Twitter
I'm-
was. Now it's called X, and it's basically Elon Musk versus
I'm
Zuckerberg.
not.
If they do that cage fight, which one are you rooting for?
neither. I don't know.
That's fine. Skip.
So I'd say Threads, I guess.
All right. This one's going to be a hard one for you. Prada or Gucci?
Oh, Gucci. I love both. I
the
mean,
color.
We
I
went
could
in
talk
Gucci
all
yesterday,
day.
actually.
I do, but Gucci has my heart. And a great story. When I worked at Condé Nast, bring it full circle, my boss, two of my bosses I love so much, Nancy and Diane, Gucci was my client, and we had a meeting, and we came back. They threw a surprise baby shower for me for Hunter, and they all gave me the Gucci diaper bag, which I
No.
still have to this
Well,
day.
yeah, you can't get rid of that. I feel like
I
we need
used
to have
and I
like
used
17
it
more kids just to
through
use that.
through 5 pregnancies, 4 kids.
Yeah.
And Emerson is always like, you didn't give it away, did you? Because when we were getting rid of stuff,
You're
before
like,
we
no,
moved.
that's staying.
Save that sucker.
Yeah,
Wrap it
and
up.
it's like
Wrap it up
super
tight.
They
special.
think you're going to give it to
So-
them when they have babies, but no,
Yeah.
that'll be your grandma bag.
Oh yeah. Just
Like my first pair of designer shoes were Gucci.
See,
First
I
ones I
have a
saved
weird-
my money for Gucci, you know.
I just
So.
think of Prada as a little more classy, strangely, because I think Gucci with all the patterns and like you can always kind of tell a Gucci, but you don't always tell a Prada.
Yeah.
So there's something I don't know, and maybe it's
Very
because
like
my first
Audrey Hepburn about
yeah,
Prada. Yeah,
just
I
sort
get
of
it.
like classic
Yeah.
looks and lines and
Yeah.
colors, and like whereas Gucci mixes stuff a little bit. Like we were in there the other day, and I was like, oh, that like I'm not really a pink girl, but that light pink purse is really pretty. And then she goes, what about the neon pink next to it? I hadn't even seen it, and I went, oh yeah, that is really cool. Like
Yeah.
seeing it from your eyes, I would see the bright pink, but I didn't see. I went for like I look around, I'm like immediately looking for blue, black. Like nice.
It's funny
emerald
we're
green.
attracted to
like,
what we're attracted
Yeah, and you're like,
and
look at the colors.
Yeah, and the jewelry they have is like
Oh, we tried on
unbelievable.
other- I had no idea they had this like vintage jewelry section.
So gorgeous.
No idea right
Yeah.
here. But anyway, thank you so much for being
Yeah, it
here.
was
Thanks
so
for
much
sharing
fun.
your stories.
I talk
And
to you guys all day.
yeah, well, hopefully, will we get to the rest of the day too?
Yes,
You're
I know.
stuck with me in
I know.
Nashville.
I know. I'm so happy about it. I hope I do get stuck here.
Maybe we'll have another random thunderstorm come through like we've had every day since
Darn,
we've been
I
here.
can't go to the airport
Yeah.
tomorrow
Yeah.
because it's raining today.
Exactly.
That's awful.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we never take off planes in the rain here.
No.
Yeah. And
Never
it was good to see
ever.
you again.
It's so good to see you too. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah. No, thanks for having me.
Love you.
You too.